What's up, everybody? We're back on Word of Mouth. If you don't know what Word of Mouth is, it's this podcast. And you're here listening. Maybe you're here listening after, golly, this won't come out for a few weeks.
This will be like in March, I think.
Maybe you're like driving to the beach right now for spring break.
Could be.
Maybe you're at the beach right now for spring
Maybe
break.
it's many months from now and it's summer.
Yeah.
And you're just windows down listening to a podcast instead of music for some reason.
Maybe you're a freshman. Maybe you're a freshman at Sanford and you're listening to this podcast because your friends are on. That's actually probably why you're listening to this. Or you're
Probably
our
pretty
mom and
spot on.
dad. Except for my mom
Hey,
and
Mom.
dad. My mom and dad don't really listen to every single episode, so my wife doesn't listen to any episodes.
There's mine.
I know.
Our only goal with this podcast is to be good enough that one day our wives listen to it.
That's a valid
That
goal.
would be such a goal. Such an achievable goal, too, you know? Because goals need to be smart. They need to be specific, measurable, attainable. I forgot what the R and the T stand for in SMART goals.
I think, isn't T like time? Like it has to be within,
Time-oriented.
and then
Reach, no, I don't remember what ours. Anybody? Y'all are freshmen in
I
college.
just heard that 2 weeks ago.
SMART goals?
But I forgot.
You forgot it.
who are you guys?
Uh-oh.
Who
So
are you guys?
Why are y'all sitting on this couch on this podcast with us right now?
Well,
Explain yourself.
this is Chloe's older brother, so
Wait,
yeah.
what? Like as in like you are Chloe's older brother?
yeah.
No way.
Yeah. Well, I'm returning.
Yes,
Chloe's a
because
friend of the
you
pod.
are. Say it with me. I
I
am
am Myres'
little
little
sister.
sister.
There we go. This is Chloe.
Wow,
Yeah.
in unison. Did you guys
Mom.
practice that?
And then Chloe brought some friends on, which
Yeah,
are
I'm her roommate. I'm Anna.
Anna and
I'm Natalie. I'm practically their roommate, but I don't actually have a bed in there.
Future roommate.
so yeah, we love having family members on. That's why Chloe's back. We got to get Ansley back on one of these days.
Yeah.
And Sally and Sam and Seth and all of our millions of siblings. But anyways, we had Chloe back, and you know, I feel like this is kind of random, but 2 times this year, me and Myres have gotten to the absolute pleasure of sitting at the same table with Chloe's friends from college. And we talk about the podcast, and we were like, we got to have y'all on. And they were like, no way. We were like, literally, why not? And so we are probably like a lot of you on the edge of your seat, interested to hear what the heck it's like to be a freshman in college these days and be friends with Chloe. I think that's why we had him on. I don't really know why. Like, why did we have him
Natalie
on?
said she wanted to be on, and then so I said her and Chloe could come, and then Chloe said, "Can Anna come?" And I said, "Sure."
I really do like how this is kind of like a little club,
Yeah.
and we get to come here and you know have a kumbaya around word of mouth. And we have headphones and mics, and
Yeah.
it's really fun.
Official.
Welcome.
So, anyways, tell us a little about yourselves, Chloe's friends. Well, I guess we already know a lot about you, but tell everybody who you are, where you're from, what you do, that kind of stuff.
I'm from Huntsville. Just moved there.
Go
this
Trash
summer.
Pandas.
Yeah. I'm actually still trying to get to go to a game. I know somebody that gets free tickets, so I'm like, hit me up. But anyways,
Facts.
what
You probably could just walk in, honestly.
I know, like, I'm just such a celebrity. 'cause
Also,
I
there's like
just
no
moved
trees in that area of Huntsville, so you
Yeah.
probably could just like go to any restaurant around there and just kind of look into the stadium.
Honestly, I should just skydive in one day.
Yeah, that
Just
would be
put it-
pretty cool. So you're from Huntsville.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What do I do? I'm trying to think.
What do you study?
I study architecture.
I did not know that Sanford had an architecture school. Are you serious?
I'm also architecture.
Yeah.
Are you being for real? We only had interior architecture whenever I was there. There's an
Yeah.
architecture place.
They added it, I want to say, like,
Did you know that?
4 or 5 years ago. Because they're
Dang,
still
right when
getting,
we
like,
freaking left.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
sucks.
I know. Y'all just.
I would have done that
missed
so
out.
fast.
I know.
So rad,
At Rich
but-
Friday.
Yeah. If you're listening, dang. Rich had to go to a lot of graduate school to be an architect. He did interior architecture, then he went to Georgia Tech for architecture, which is
That's why I actually picked
Very impressive.
Sanford, because they're only 5 years. And everybody else, like, Auburn was my second choice, and it's like 4+2, but Sanford's 4+1. And I was like,
Yeah.
Facts.
school, let's go.
yeah. That's actually really cool. So you're
Yeah.
like guaranteed to go to grad school, or is it all like just kind of one thing?
It's like
or,
a fast track master's. It's
Oh,
like
okay.
1 year, just like everything, just boom.
So you're
down.
taking like all the normal classes right now.
Yeah.
Are you taking any architecture classes?
We're taking like a
survey.
survey. I guess is the closest thing. It's like our little field trip class, basically.
No way.
We like go to firms.
Yeah. And
Oh, okay.
We'll talk about.
Do y'all
cool.
go to actual like buildings too to study them, or do y'all go to just
I feel
firms?
like we will eventually.
You just
Yeah.
go in there and they're like, oh.
We don't know what
Like,
we're
The
looking at
walls
yet,
are
but-
38 feet tall.
Yeah.
They are approximately 8 inches thick. What does that mean for the weight-bearing ceiling?
Exactly.
We go to like
That's what I imagine architects' brains like.
yeah.
I've heard
like-
once you start talking about that, like every time you walk into a building, you can't see anything the same. And like honestly, I'm kind of ready for that because
Yeah.
it's just like
Do they teach? Is there like a class where they teach you how to speak architect?
Well, the guy like that teaches the class, it's like
I was just like,
we go to like firms, but he also just like lectures us on like how to be an architect. So I feel like it's kind of gonna be
He's
like
like, so
that.
when you walk into a space,
You
first of all,
immediately-
you speak about it as if it's a space, not a room. So then you speak
Except
about the
for-
space, and then you talk about how it's informed by the context. And what that means is like they try and make it look like the stuff that's around it.
and you have to have an Australian accent.
Yeah.
for sure.
here we are, fifth dimension architects,
Wow.
natural habitat.
So you have taken the class.
Yeah.
Speak
Yeah.
architect class.
yeah. Yeah.
But it's like, all right, first things first, we all have to go to Outback. I really want to talk about Outback today because Gracie and I went on a date last night to Outback. Just want to just say that going on a date to Outback was pretty exhilarating. I kind of felt like it was like a Rage Against the Machine, you know? It's like I don't freaking care. I'm going to Outback. I also went to Outback, and 2 observations I had on Outback last night. If you were to analyze their menu from the perspective of a graphic designer, it would be like if the brief that Outback gave the graphic designer that made it definitely had to include try to confuse people about how expensive their meal is going to end up being. Like, it was so interesting how there was like all of these buzzwords like premium sides, steakhouse, fill in the blank, steakhouse potatoes, steakhouse mac and cheese. But then there would also be like in small letters over here to the left on sides, it would be like traditional sides, semi-traditional sides. And then underneath that, like the sides that were like normal were like far off, smaller text or like smaller font over in the corner. And it would just be like veggies. It wouldn't say what veggie. It would just say veggies.
Yeah.
And over here on the right, it would be like steakhouse, lobster crusted broccoli, premium side. It would be like huge. And then like the steak page was like so confusing. It like in huge graphic, it would tell you the difference between like medium rare and rare. But then over to the left, it would be like New York strip $38.99 or something, like in these like tiny thing. But it like the steak would be like font size freaking 89, and then the price would be like font size 11. It was like I was like, man, they are really trying to ring us up on the dollar here. So that was observation 1. Okay, so we'll move on to observation 2 now on Outback.
All right.
So I got grilled chicken, broccoli, and mac and cheese.
Right.
And Gracie got a baked potato and a Caesar salad. And like, I'm not even.
It's not a very Outbacky
No, it was
order.
not at all.
Either of you.
But I was like, honestly, I had just gotten Publix like New York strips. I got 2 of them that were like freaking huge, and we cooked them on Monday night. Me and Gracie did, and it was $24 for 2 of them at Publix. And Publix meat is like pretty good,
Yeah,
definitely as good as Outback meat.
at least.
And the New York strip was $38 for 1, and I was like, okay, I'm not falling for that. And the grilled chicken was $16, which is still freaking crazy. But it was $16 including 2 sides, and I was like, I think I'm getting close to robbing them. I went because I had those gift cards that you get with like 45 logos on the front of them.
Yep.
It's like that you can
That's
spend them
the
anywhere.
only reason I ever go to one of those
Yeah,
restaurants.
and I got 2 of those, and I'm not kidding you, millions of logos on the front of both of them, literally millions. The only logo that was on both of them was the Outback logo. So we were like, oh, we're definitely going to Outback. We get to Outback, and then we are thinking we're just going to be able to like swipe the card. No, it's like, go to this gift card companies.com's website and then register the card. Then you get, and then once you're on there, then you have to fill out another form to then get the gift card. Then when you get the gift card, then you have to fill out and log in again to then get the gift card like sent to your email. It was like 14 steps. It was like, I was like, they probably just make money off this because people just get tired when they're in the middle of the process and they're like, whatever, I'll just pay for it with my debit card. It's easy. But it was like crazy. After we were like out at Outback, already had ordered, we got on there to do this. And then we start scrolling. And I'm not kidding you. There was like probably 50 other restaurants we could have gone to that weren't on the card, but we just felt like so stupid. We ended up at Outback. We could have gone to like, I don't know, somewhere like freaking
Cheesecake Factory, way better.
Cracker Barrel, or like, I don't know. It still would have sucked. But, there was like, one of them was like golf now, so I could have just paid to play golf with it. I had no idea. But anyways, so we ended up Outback. We get this food. And like, when I tell you, like, it is not as good as if you would have just made broccoli, grilled chicken, and the mac and cheese was actually unreal. I will say that. The steakhouse mac and cheese, the one premium side, I did fall into their stupid, freaking plan of ripping me off. I paid $5 more for steakhouse mac and cheese than the normal mac and cheese. And it was unreal. But literally, the Caesar salad was like a bagged Caesar salad. Like, it wasn't like special at all. Like, it was just like bagged Caesar salad. And then it was like the baked potato came with the stuff on the side, like in this little bowl. So they didn't even like do anything for real. Like, it was just like, it was just
I feel
there.
like this is Steven's therapy session
This
for
is.
his Outback experience.
I just think that Outback, it was fascinating. I really want to hear y'all's opinions on Outback.
But we also need to introduce Natalie.
Well,
Sorry.
I feel
There's a
like
little
Outback is
side
one of those places. Same with Cheesecake Factory, where it's
True.
like they have so many different types of like
Everything.
food that it's like it's none of it's gonna be good.
No.
Yeah.
I like the freaking server came up to the table. I might end up talking about Outback this whole freaking episode. But the server came up to the table and she was like, so what do y'all want? And I was like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I kind of want pasta, but like, is the pasta any good? And in the back of my head, I was like, what the heck are you doing, Steven? You're talking to an Outback employee. She's probably worked here for 3 days. She's only gonna work here for 3 more days. And even if she's worked here for a year, she doesn't know anything about food. Why would she be working here if she cared about culinary anything? And I just asked her, like, should I get the grilled chicken or the grilled chicken and shrimp pasta out? Like, it's all the freaking same thing. What are you doing? That was my self-talk whenever I asked her the question. She was just like, yeah, the pasta's kind of bad. I wouldn't get it if I were you. And I was like, all right, whatever. But she was like, the mac and cheese, though, amazing. And I was like, you freaking sucker. You're trying to get me to get a premium side? But I ended up doing it, and she was right. The mac and cheese was fire. But anyways, that was my experience there. It was really, really daunting. Cheesecake Factory, even more so.
Daunting.
Cheesecake Factory's menu is like 35 pages long.
Last time we went to Cheesecake Factory, Claire and I, we went because we had one of those gift cards that has 500 restaurants on the front. And we sat in like a 2-person like booth chair on the other side. And we prayed before we ate. And then the couple next to us thanked us for praying before we ate.
What?
It was
spreading the gospel at Cheesecake Factory for real.
Sanctified meal.
I totally thought you were about to be like, they paid for our meals. So then we were like, dang it, we got to go to Cheesecake Factory twice to get rid of this gift
that would have been
card.
funny. No, it was. That doesn't even happen in Gardendale.
I freaking love Cheesecake Factory though. Oh my gosh. The actual, like, when you get through the meal, which is like, sometimes I get freaking Chinese food whenever I go there. It's just so random. Also, y'all ever done the thing where you look through the menu and see which item has the most calories there? Because it says
insane. There's
it's
like
crazy.
4,000 to 5,000 in some of them.
Yeah, literally. There's this one. It's like a loaded barbecue nachos, and it's got genuinely like 6,800 calories.
I need that.
Crazy. And I'm like,
I know where I'm going after my marathon.
legit, we're gonna get a freaking cheesecake. But then you just like when you finish your meal and you're like, I get to eat just like freaking candy, like just all over good cheesecake in like 15 minutes. That is like the best feeling ever.
But then why wouldn't you just like go get cheesecake?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never done that.
Really?
I've never gone to cheesecake to only get cheesecake. That's a good
Really?
idea, though. No,
That's
never.
crazy.
I just like
It's
if you go to the Summit, I'm like I feel like I have to be there for like 4 hours in order to make it worth it.
It's a weekend trip.
It's like the Summit genuinely. If there was a hotel in the Summit, people would go like from freaking Mountain Brook. They would just be like, nah, I'm just gonna stay there. I'm gonna stay the night. It's too much. That place is so hard to get.
I'm gonna
around.
Airbnb a Summit apartment.
I like don't understand this concept because I like am from here, so like I went to the Summit all the time.
Okay, chill out.
I don't understand.
Natalie,
It's just so difficult.
We get it, Natalie. You're freaking from here. You went to the Summit. You don't understand. The Summit was like your Walmart. Okay, I get it.
Natalie,
also-
what was your perception of the Summit growing up?
The Summit was like where all my like friends went to buy Lululemon, and then they would get mad at me because I didn't want to buy Lululemon.
You're like, can we please go to Urban Outfitters, please?
yeah,
Was
it's
that
so
your
much
vibe?
cheaper.
Yeah, you're like, I want to get a shirt that says Pepsi and it's $45.
I want
You know me,
I want a
Steven.
pair of jeans where the front is black and the back is blue.
I like low key kind of want to look like a worship leader and a rapper, like simultaneously. Yeah, Urban Outfitters I feel like is just definitely horrible now. Like for the longest time, I
It's-
really
It was
like,
cool
clothes
in like
that's, like-
2017.
for a while
Yeah.
there. It was like really cutting edge stuff.
Yeah.
It's
But
like
or maybe I was just stupid.
expensive, ripped clothes.
Yeah.
Or like jackets. Their jackets are cool.
And it's like crazy too. Like, I mean, I'm a guy. I'm not a girl, right?
What?
Really?
And when you go in there and you see like the girl side, and it's like the clothes they will like put on hangers for girls, and it's just kind of like 2 napkins.
It's like literally a cloth.
Literally, it's like, and you know,
It's like the mesh from a trucker hat,
$65 or something.
but it's a shirt.
A
Then you, like-
loincloth.
Yeah, you'll go upstairs and it's like a full out like fur coat for the same amount of money just because it's like men's Urban Outfitters. It's like actually kind of crazy. Also, I feel like whenever I went in there last time, the table of like just random, you know, like it was like hipster Cracker Barrel stuff is like humongous now. It's like the majority of the store.
store.
Yeah, you go in there
The
and it's
bottom
just like,
floor is just a big table with shirts on it.
it's like a mug that's like looks like weed or something like that. It's it really is all the same. But yeah, Urban Outfitters is a good vibe. I went there on Wednesday and not Urban Outfitters, the Summit, and I went to this like leadership cohort thing that was very out of my element. It was in this like CEO's office in this like really bougie thing above Chewy's. Like, you know what I mean? Like I feel like there's like
Yeah.
if you have the money to rent an office space at the Summit, like you've got money. It was like kind of that vibe. So anyways, I'm like leaving. And in order to get out of the Summit, I had to like it was behind Chewy's, so I had to go out of a parking deck, go down stop sign 1, turn left, stop sign 2, turn right, stop sign 3, then go further down stop sign 4, turn left, stop sign 5, turn left, stop sign 6, turn right, stop sign 7, go down red light 1, turn left, red light 2, go down further, red light 3, go down further, red light 4. And it's a freaking mall. Like, why was it so hard to get out of there? I was like freaking out whenever I finally got down to the last stoplight. So that's what I mean by it's like really hard to. It's easy to just like you need to go there and you need to have like a real reason to go in.
Yeah.
Because they make it so difficult to leave, which I understand why, because like freaking money and all that stuff. But like it is a place that like when you go in, it's like a black hole. Like it's so hard to like actually leave that place. It's like whenever you're at the freaking, like I've literally been at Trader Joe's and been like, Grace, do you want to go to the Peloton store? Like we might want a Peloton. That's actually happened. And we went in the Peloton store and bought a Peloton. That's freaking crazy. That's what the Summit
You fell
does.
for it.
This
I
is
did.
not my experience.
Yeah, well,
like-
you went to Lululemon. Your parents'
Summit
friends were
is
like,
like-
freaking get Lulu, idiot.
The Summit is like the menu at Outback, trying to
Wow.
draw you in.
Wow.
Dude, what a callback right there.
She's brilliant.
Fire.
That's a national champion
Simile
robotics
right
person
there.
right there. Anyways, okay, so Natalie, who are you?
15 minutes in. Natalie, our other guest.
19. We're 19 minutes in right now. That's
great.
kind of funny. All right,
I'm a freshman at Stanford, obviously.
let's go.
I'm from here, but I live like over between Hoover and Pelham, so like it's kind of like 30 minutes away.
What do you call that area? People call it different
Okay,
words.
I call it like I think of it as like Oak Mountain.
Okay.
Because my house backs up to the state park, and so we can like walk in.
No way.
From
So you live
our
on
house.
119, like
Yes.
up there?
And so like
How close to OMPC do you live?
Like literally 5 minutes.
Okay,
Because I
cool.
went to Westminster, which is like the
On
school
OMPC.
at
Give us your
OMPC.
home address.
Yeah, definitely dox yourself right now. Do you know what dox means? I didn't know what dox meant whenever somebody said that for the first time on this podcast. I actually don't know where the word derives from. Where does...
I actually don't know.
I think it's
I'm sure
DOX,
it's
right?
DOX. I don't know what it's short for.
Document?
I don't know, but it means
Doesn't
that when you dox
reveal.
yourself, you're like giving out, you accidentally give out like wildly personal information. So like if
Yeah.
celebrities
Like
are
your
like,
address.
like for example, like celebrities sometimes will be like, love a rainy day, post their like a window picture from their house, and it'll have like their mailbox with their address on it.
Oh,
And
that's
then
terrifying.
that's like, oh, freaking Miley Cyrus just doxed herself. And then there's like,
Well, you know you're a
Publicity there.
stalker if you're zooming in to look at the...
oh yeah, dude, the
Mailbox
freaking
number.
TMZ folks.
I'm doing that for
Love that crap.
Natalie.
Yeah.
I'm zooming in on your mailbox.
Is there an area called Indian Springs?
Yes.
Is that what
What's
is
the
that?
difference between that and Oak Mountain?
I don't know. There's so many different like regions around where I live, because it's like if I drive like 5 minutes left, I'm in like more Oak Mountain area, getting closer to Pelham, and then it's like if I go right, I'm like in Hoover, and then like there's like 280.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
like,
Wait, you call that area over on 280? You call that area Hoover?
well, it's considered Hoover. Like
That's
there's,
not
like, a
Vestavia,
sign.
like where Greystone is. Like that's Hoover. Like those kids go to Hoover High School, or I guess they go to Spain Park.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's so many schools right there that
Where
like,
would you go to high school
everything
at?
is like
Did you go to
I would-
Spain Park or?
I would have gone to I would have gone to Oak Mountain. I went to Westminster though, which is private
Okay.
school.
I'm going to Oak Mountain High School tomorrow morning. On the way to Sidetrack. Oh, actually, are we going to Sidetrack tomorrow? Or are we going to South Carolina tomorrow?
I think we're going to sidetrack.
Okay, I mean, it's a win-win. for
Yeah,
us
it was a
tomorrow,
win
honestly.
either way.
We thought about buying. Can we talk about this on the
Yeah,
podcast?
man.
Okay. We thought about buying a espresso machine, starting doing pop-ups and stuff like that. The espresso machine
fire.
came up for sale in rural South Carolina.
Like
It's called
7 hours away.
Is
It's
it
called
like a
like
road
Red
trip.
Bull or
Chal,
something?
South Carolina. or something.
Chiraw,
No,
I think
it was
is what
like
it was.
it was like a fancier one, like one that you could.
Like the ones at Little Professor, the little single group head La Marzocco machines, little white
I
ones.
don't know what words
That
you
did
just
not
said
sound
to
like
me.
English.
Yep.
A
Anyway.
single group head means you can pull one shot of espresso. Double group heads would be like you can
Oh.
pull two simultaneously.
With the- yeah.
So group heads are what those are called. And then La Marzocco is a brand. I don't know what Marzocco means in Italian.
Yeah,
but
it's an
La
Italian
means
brand.
I don't know what Marzocco means.
It's a really nice espresso
but-
machine that normally
yeah.
costs like $6,000, and I found one for $2,500.
So
And I
it-
started
Nice deal.
messaging the person, but they're 7 hours away.
It was
Yeah.
on
And-
Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, on Facebook.
yeah, they're usually $7,000, and there was one that went up for $2,500, and we were like,
Yeah.
So, and
And
obviously
I
we were
literally
the
told
only
them I will buy this, but like I have to come up this weekend, and they already
Yeah.
had somebody who was interested.
You know, it's crazy. This morning I was at Seeds, and this dude, his name was Blake. I didn't know this at the time, but he literally pulled out of, you know, like Seeds has like that office beside. I guess y'all might not know
I
that
do.
that's theirs, but the building beside it is their office. Like they own that building too, where they like roast and stuff. But this guy pulled out a Linea Mini.
No way.
Which is the name of this machine. The Linea Mini on like a, you know, those freaking what is that called? Those moving cart things. And I was like, what the heck, guys? Look, that guy's got a Linea Mini in the package. Like it was in the La Marzocco like cardboard box. And he was trying to put it into his Toyota Camry, which is hilarious because everybody calls that machine the Toyota Camry of coffee machines because it's just like cheap. It's like the most affordable and it'll just last forever. So I thought that was funny. But he was trying to put it into his Toyota Camry by himself, and it's like a freaking ginormous box. And the thing's probably like, I don't know, 50 pounds or something like that. And I was like, I'm going to help this guy because he looked like he was struggling so much putting it in. But I thought it was crazy how we literally almost freaking bought one.
Yeah.
And this guy had a brand new one that he like got. But anyways, I went over there and talked to him for a while. But he works and knows like all the people at Black and White. And like he works for this food and beverage company that represents like all these different places that help out restaurants or coffee shops. But he represents Pacific, the oat milk brand that we use at
no
Black
way.
and White. So Pacific is a specialty milk company that a lot of like really high-end cafes use. But he like knows all these freaking coffee owners all over the country. So it's like freaking crazy. But anyways, I was at Seeds this morning and we thought about doing that. I don't remember why we were talking about that. What did that have anything to do with what we were just talking about? Frick. Anybody remember?
I don't know.
Something
Well,
having
you
to do
were
with...
asking me about like the area I live in, and then I don't know how you got
Frick.
to coffee.
Oh yeah, we're going to I'm going to Oak Mountain High School in the morning.
Oh, there
That's
it
where
That's where it was.
Yeah, so but we're going and we have to go later because Jacob McClendon, who's a friend of the pod, he's been on a lot. Jacob McClendon has got a gig playing drums at a show choir concert tomorrow morning. Which I think is like so random. He's playing a 20-minute show choir drum set tomorrow at Oak Mountain High
No, at
School.
Oak Mountain High School.
He's
We should
playing
all
for like
go.
a high school competition.
Yeah.
Just so random.
That's
Hey, speaking of Zion fans, did y'all listen to the new stuff today?
No,
Not
I haven't
yet.
gone to yet. I was in class like right before we got here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, y'all don't. That's crazy. You don't listen to music. You don't commute.
We have
What music did y'all listen to on the way here?
Beyonce. Just
No.
actually one song by Beyonce. But I was DJing. I played Love on Top.
Love it.
Because, we had the windows down. It's feeling like summer, and
It
that's so
is.
exciting.
It feels
We're
so
also
good today.
all gonna be living here this summer, and it's gonna be
No way.
crazy lit.
Bummer.
Yeah, no, well, I guess like obviously y'all two are just living with your family. What are you doing? Are you-
She's living with me.
We're all working.
no
Yeah.
way. Where are y'all working at?
We don't know.
I'm
You just didn't do it.
supposed to. I have a potential internship, but if that doesn't work out, then I'll just work somewhere random.
Yeah.
Because there's like so many places here. So
Dude, that's
There are
Getting
so many
internship
places
too.
here
there's so
in
many
this
places
place.
to work in this place.
that's so absolutely epic.
Yeah.
Do you know what y'all should do since y'all are gonna be here this summer? Y'all should definitely come on the Budapest mission trip that I'm leading in May.
I saw that.
I can't.
I
Oh,
So,
bummer. Okay.
yeah.
Well then, Natalie and Chloe, the offer still stands for you.
I couldn't
Fire.
scan the QR code when I was at church.
Really?
Oh,
It wouldn't work?
no.
It wasn't working. So
Oh,
Oh,
no.
Epic fail.
It literally all it does was just give you my contact. That's all the QR code. did.
yes,
All of it.
already
So,
know that. So
Yeah. Okay.
Why architecture?
Yes,
Are
dude.
you
Let's talk
asking
about
me
that
or
more.
Anna?
Because we love architecture, but we did not study it.
I like
and
for sure would have studied that if that was a major.
I was going to go to grad school after graduating and decided I was tired of school and didn't want to do 3 more years.
yeah,
You should have.
I still could.
You could.
dude.
Why'd you guys choose it?
I really like whenever I talk to like my dad and my friends about it, like whenever I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and we were like kind of like playing on like my strengths or like things that I enjoy doing. Like I really enjoy things that have a lot of order and a lot of structure, but are also like creative in the fact that like architecture is a science. Like there is an answer. There are things that like you have to do that are like intentional,
Yeah.
but it's also not like medical where it's like very, very textbook. Like you
or
can,
like personal or something. Like
yeah, like you can make it more personal, and like there's just a lot of outlets that you can do with architecture. Like, and like there's a lot of like my sister's in like medical field, and then my brother's in like seminary. So like we're all very different, but
All across the board.
I really enjoy the idea of like being able to walk into a space one day that I know that I made. Like that's
Yeah.
She's
and
already calling them spaces.
I'm just an architect, I guess.
Spice.
But I don't know. I just think it's like a cool way to be creative. That's
Dude,
not
Anna
just
definitely
like,
had the flu. That cough was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, she did.
Like, she was like, she just
I had
light giggle
pneumonia.
followed by demonic cough.
Yeah, cough
It's so
into the
embarrassing.
microphone.
It's like an old man, and I'm like,
I totally get it. I got the flu too. The flu is terrible. If anybody's listening to this with the flu, man, I'm sorry. Or
Hope this makes it better.
flu A was garbage. I heard today that if you get flu B, it's not that big of a deal. But if you get flu A, it's like horrible. Can confirm I got flu A, but I hate people with flu B. If that's
You
the
hate
case.
them.
Yes. What even is flu B?
no sympathy.
Flube.
Flua. Me and all my Flua homies hate flubes.
Flub. Hey, bro, I got flub. Oh, man.
So you like being creative but orderly.
Yes.
Anyways, tying the flu back into architecture.
I
Yeah.
also just like I feel like I said, like there's just a lot of things you can do with it. Like you can do like restorations, but you can also do like residential or commercial. There's a lot of
Which one do you
outlets.
want to do? Which one would you like if you had to sign up for either residential or commercial right now? Which one do you think you'd be more interested in?
Residential.
Yeah.
I thought about for a while doing interior design, but I feel like one of the biggest things that like changed it for me is the fact that like at least now architecture is considered like you're like a professional. Like I'll have my master's and stuff, and then interior design is not necessarily considered a professional. And so like I wanted to be able to graduate from college, and like if you're an architect, like you technically don't have to go to school to be an interior designer.
Yeah.
And so like if I graduated as an interior designer, entry level jobs look a lot more like decorating than
Sure.
like actually designing. And so I liked the idea that like when I graduate with my master's in architecture, I'll be kind of like at the top of the totem pole, so it's like get better
Sure.
jobs, and I can always like do interior design stuff too.
Yeah.
But I've already done both, so I can like kind of do both, which I like the idea of being able to like kind of pick and choose what I want to do, because I'm probably gonna like, you have to get certification, so I'm probably gonna get architecture certification and interior design certification at some point,
Cool.
Nice.
so I can do both.
I think it would be so cool to chat with you about Judd sometime. The guy that I like love that's in West Texas. He's passed away now. He passed away in like early 2000s, but he is so into, he was an artist, but he also had like these, I don't know how to explain it, but he would like buy buildings in West Texas, whether they're ranches or like bigger like warehouses that were like super old. And he would do these things called permanent installations in them, but they included furniture. And he was like super fascinated by furniture specifically. So anyways, it's a longer story. But the reason I bring that up is because in Birmingham, there is like a lot of really, really cool stuff in the architecture realm that like, and I don't know why, but like, I don't really know how you would be aware of it, to be honest with you. But I feel like if you look around in Birmingham, you can kind of begin to see like a lot of the same sort of like patterns or trends in restaurants or like
Especially
offices
in
and stuff.
houses too.
Homes
like
as well, yeah.
Like in Homewood or in Mountain Brook, like
Mm-hmm.
there's lots of stuff like that.
There's a lot of like South German influence, which is like the
Tudor.
Tudor style, like exposed frames
Yeah.
kind of look, like what is in Mountain Brook a lot. And there's a lot of cottages.
A lot of
which is-
5-4 in a door. A lot of those.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
Good word.
a lot
in a
of
door.
those.
Yeah, lots of. If you go like downtown, there's a lot of like I don't know what the phrase bullet home. Have y'all heard about this? If you shoot a gun through the front door, it goes out the back door. That's what bullet home means. And so it's like there's one hallway with like rooms off to the right. So,
Yeah.
but the reason they're like bullet homes is like a architecture term talking about homes that were built whenever a factory was built, and then somebody would hire a company to just make a frick ton of build homes all at once. So they're like really cheap, really easy to build, and so you could build a bunch of bullet homes and have like space for like wife and husband in one room, kid, kitchen, living room. That's like the whole house. So, but those houses in downtown, it's like I think it's really cool when you see them, because obviously a lot of them are torn down because they don't last. But when people do preserve them, I feel like it's like literally the history of Birmingham living on, because Birmingham had this like huge boom in like early 1900s whenever factories came here because of like the steel and like iron and stuff like that. And but these houses have no reason to be preserved, but people like still preserve them and like live in them and stuff. And they are quite literally the most like utilitarian homes ever, because it's just like exactly what you need for like a really tiny family, and that's all they offer. But it is like the reason that Birmingham exists is because of those factories. So I think it's cool that or it's because these factories that came here. So I think it's cool when people like preserve that history of that. So there's a ton of them in North Birmingham, and there's some over here in Crestwood next to like I don't know if you've ever driven that far over, but the factory, like, it's pretty obvious why Crestwood exists, because if you like drive to the left, there's like huge factory after huge factory after huge factory where obviously all the jobs were. And then if you look to the right, there's just like neighborhood after neighborhood after neighborhood. And it's just like the neighborhoods get like smaller houses, and then the further up the hill you get, they just get bigger and bigger and bigger all the way up into like Highland Park and Forest Park. So it's pretty obvious, or it's pretty cool to me how you can like literally see like the history of this area over here. But like whenever you do that, but I feel like that's the only thing that would be different about under the mountain, like, in comparison. When you go over the mountain, it gets like very rich because obviously that happened later in the 60s and 70s, and people got more like affluent and creative, I guess, in the architecture and stuff. But downtown, it's like there's a lot of 5'4" in the door, like front porch homes.
Do you want to define for our listeners 5'4" in a door?
When I think of that, I think of kind of like a flat front with the 5 like very tall windows across the front, and then 2 center door, like not the double door, just one door.
Yeah.
And it looks kind of like colonial to me.
Yeah.
And I like that style, but
I think that's the most timeless home. Me and Gracie have like decided that because we have talked a lot about timelessness and what makes timelessness there. Because like the Adidas Gazelle, great example. The Converse, great example. The Birkenstock, great example. There's like items of like the polo white button down. Like there's like or like a Levi, like a normal blue jean Levi or 990s or not 980s. What is the name of what is the Levi's? 550s. There it is. But like those like clothing pieces are like literally, they're just the most core clothing. But I feel like 5'4" or whatever you called it, 5'4" in a door things are just like perfectly symmetrical. They don't call any attention to themselves, but you just look at them and you're like, that looks nice to the eye.
Yeah, and you can still be like, have that as a blueprint and make it unique in a way. Like it can still be timeless, but have its own character.
Or Jake McClendon.
It's the same, like, blueprint. So.
Sorry, phone rang. Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I love, like, they just built one over in Mountain Brook. It literally took them like 18 years to build it. The one on Country Club Boulevard, the white one with like, it's like the most symmetrical home I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And they have sunroom to the left, like porch to the right, where it's like even like the jute outs to the left and the right are just like the same exact size. They also have spheres in the front yard that are like perfectly in line. Like there's like 3 on the left side of the yard, 3 on the right side of the yard. And I love that stuff. I'm curious what y'all think about that. Like symmetry, for some reason, just like even in art, it just does it for me. Like I don't know how to explain it, but I like love art so much. But when people include lines and like geometry, I guess, in art, like I think it is the coolest thing ever. Like that guy that was at the Guggenheim that we saw, like on that one floor. I forgot his name, Thomas something. But he is really famous for doing those like primary color, like red, yellow, blue squares. Like it was like, I don't know if y'all remember
Mondrian or something.
Yes, literally, that's him. Yeah. So, but they had his sketchbooks in this like glass box, and you could see like even where his like ideas kind of formed from it. So he would be like out in the world, and he would just like sketch lines he saw in buildings, and then that would inspire, like his sketchbooks would then go inspire his like prints that he would make that were so famous. So do y'all feel that way with art?
Well, they're in the class right now. I took it last semester, but 2-dimensional design basically like teaches you all of those things. Like,
really? You
learn about the different type of ways that you can, like, it's all about like leading the eye and what people will focus on depending on what you do in a piece of art. Ooh. And you have to like create smaller little like designs that like demonstrate those different like concepts and stuff.
That is so cool.
I feel like I like symmetry to a point, but I also feel like my brain gets kind of like bored with symmetry. Sure. Like I feel like there has to be some uniqueness in it for me to like if it's only symmetrical, it's like sometimes it's kind of hard to draw your eye to like a specific thing if you want a specific thing highlighted. Like especially like in houses or in buildings or whatever, like if you want it to be symmetrical, then people like look at the whole. But if you want there to be something that's kind of unique, it's like interesting in that sense of like how your eye draws in certain places the same way it would like in a painting or a piece of art. Like your eye goes, like if you look at a piece of art, your eye naturally goes to one spot, and then it travels the like line that the artist kind of wants you to see.
Yeah. That's super interesting. So what would you be more drawn to in terms of like a structure, like less art, but like what style, I guess, or genre of architecture would you be more drawn to than Natalie?
I don't know. I really, y'all probably know more about architecture than I do because I'm kind of like new to it.
Yeah, Myres definitely does.
And I I changed my major from interior design to architecture over Christmas break, and it doesn't change my class schedule, but I haven't really had time to like dive into like kind of stylistic choices. I know more stylistically what I would want for an interior than I would for like a house as a whole. But I do know that I like I don't like modern, like I don't like houses that are like a box. Like I don't want to live in a titanium like cell.
Okay,
like,
okay.
Those make me really angry.
I have a segment for us.
But I also really like more rustic stuff.
All right, today we've got a segment called
top 3 features in a house that you want to have.
Love it. All right, today's segment of top 3 features you want to have in a house. All right, so say you were given a plot of land that was beautiful, right, in Birmingham, whatever that means for you. And you got to build a house that you could live in for the rest of college. So like only right now. You wouldn't be tied to it, but just a design trend that you're into right now. 3 years later, you're going to make money off the house, blah, blah, blah. It's a low stakes thing is all I'm saying. So you can be as currently opinionated as you possibly want to be is what I'm trying to give you freedom for. So 3 things you would have in that house because of what you like.
I feel like for me, when I think of like a beautiful plot of land, I think of like lots of space, lots of green.
Yeah.
One thing that I want to like kind of integrate into my, I guess, like path in architecture is nature. So like there's a specific genre. I saw it in a video and then I went down this whole rabbit hole about it because I became like obsessed with it. But it was basically like bohilic, kind of, there was that word and something else. And it was basically just like the combination of like having some kind of nature biome in your house.
Oh, cool.
And like, I don't know. I just love that idea of having like natural elements and like plants and all the green and all the life and all that kind of stuff. But I also love natural light. That's like a huge thing for me. We went to this place downtown last weekend. It's the Fifth Dimension Interiors place downtown. And they had like giant glass pane windows. And I was like, this is so my vibe. And I'm like so excited to start making houses that have tons of natural light coming in. Because I love like the spacious and like open and just very bright feeling without being like, Natalie was saying, like a titanium box. And that's like
minimalist.
Kind of, yeah. I like
minimalist,
like a good,
earthy.
Yes, earthy minimalist would be kind of like a good way to put it. But yeah, that's also kind of why I'm in architecture, because I'm like tired of seeing ugly uses of space and materials. And I'm like,
yeah.
I want it to feel like natural, but also beautiful and timeless at the same time. So that'll have to come with like pioneering, whatever my own thing, I guess.
Yeah.
But also just figuring out how to use that kind of stuff.
What would be an example of like a...
I was going to say, so to summarize,
so
3
what are
things.
the
big
3
windows,
Big
plants
windows.
inside.
Natural light.
What would be an example of a natural biome being indoor, like a courtyard with a pond, or are you talking about more
she has a
integrated?
koi
really
pond in her
that-
bedroom.
You know, when
So like
people
there's
are,
the
like,
kitchen and then there's like a pond in the
Exactly.
kitchen.
The sink is actually a frog.
Yeah, let's make
habitat.
fun of an artist for talking about her opinions. That's probably really smart.
Well, I saw it was like not really indoors, but it was like crossing into the indoors. Like I love a good sunroom,
Okay.
but then like somehow integrating having like a raised flower bed with like some vines coming out of it, or
Cool.
like sometimes you'll see in modern houses how they just have like this wall and then like a split between it, but instead of having just like either like a black window or nothing, having like some kind of nature.
Yeah,
Essentially. So
I think that's cool.
I don't know. I'd have to figure it out. But
I have a dream for my house right now where you essentially, I would have to do a lot to my house in order to make this dream happen, but essentially it would allow the living room to flow like completely into the back porch. Because I feel like that's like the most like common way that you're talking about is like you just have a wall in your home somewhere that you can just take away if you want to, like just those huge like pane windows that are become like sliding doors. Is that what you're talking about? Where it's just like kind of flows in and out. I don't really know how people do that with bugs. Like I guess like in like the freaking Australia on the coast, they just don't have mosquitoes. But I'm like, Australia has like tarantulas and stuff. Like surely I wouldn't be like just chilling with the doors. I don't know.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to do that in Alabama.
Yeah, I feel like in the middle of summer, if you like opened up a huge window, you just get fricked. You just get like
you would get
wasps,
fricked.
like
Absolutely.
all that
Here comes the
stuff.
smoker.
Yeah, frick. Yeah, that's cool. I think that would be a beautiful home. I also just like I'm really curious what the type of home that you're talking about in this like bohilic, whatever the other explanatory word is. Like what do the houses look like?
I think, kind of what like trying to think of an example downtown. My problem is, and this is like a whole different topic, but my problem is I have not been leaving campus as much as I want to, but I want to like get out in the city and look at like, the buildings and stuff.
Yeah.
But we've been talking about this a lot in our drawing class, like going out doing field sketching and like figuring out just themes and patterns like what you were talking about in Birmingham. But to answer the question, because I keep not doing that, I am not a super huge fan of bright colors or contrast.
Okay.
I definitely prefer more neutrals and like colors like
Elevated basics, as she calls it.
Yeah, I
Gosh, Natalie is like
she knows how to perfectly summarize my ideas, honestly, because that's true.
Anna's just trying to explain something, and Natalie's like, she's an idiot.
No. I just
she's
know
right.
what her language is.
Yeah.
That's how she describes it to me. Like anytime we talk about like clothes or whatever, that's what she always says is
Elevated
her like
basics.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, something timeless
Not
and
trying
classic,
to
but also like personal style. I'm loving the gray of this cinder block right here. Like
I love a good. People freaking hate on me for that. I love a good cinder
No,
block. I
I
think
think
cinder blocks are the most beautiful. I've been thinking a lot about this term core. Y'all heard about this?
No.
Y'all heard about this?
I know what you're talking about.
Core is so like if something's like Sanford core, it would be like the Ben Brown fountain or like Step Sing sweepstakes or something like that. And then if something was like I don't know, like freaking like Alabama core, it would be like an Alabama football game, Talladega, a field with a horse, that kind of stuff. But core is like things that like every human being
Structure
knows
core.
and like loves, like a dad playing with his daughter or like a sunset at the beach. Like there's stuff that's just like, oh, everybody likes that, prayer, stuff like
Good
that.
things.
Core. And I just feel like you, like literally the cinder block everywhere on planet Earth has cinder blocks. Everybody knows what it is. It's just the most agreed on object in all of construction. I feel maybe like a 2x4, but it's like, how are you going to incorporate a 2x4, But cinder blocks are just like, you're like, oh man, I need a perfect structure that will never break, that you can put unlimited weight on. Name something else. Like genuinely, I don't know if there is one other than like maybe like a stone, but then they don't have the same height or anything like that. Blah blah blah. So I love cinder blocks. That's all I'm trying to say. If I had to answer the question, cinder blocks is one of my three for sure.
Chloe,
Just want a cinder block in your home.
I never said anything about being in a center, Natalie. So shut up. Okay, Chloe, what do you think? Well, actually, I don't want to cut you off, Anna. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
You only gave us two things.
Yeah, you said natural light, nature. You give us another N.
Okay, you know those little wooden slats that are like really thin and go up and down?
Yep.
I love that.
Okay.
there we
A
go.
little wall divider. Come on.
Walls.
Those things are
I really
they're
want
like brown they're
walls,
like trees, they're really tall.
windows, and then light coming inside the windows.
And like a plant.
Got it.
Have you ever watched Emma Chamberlain's AD?
No.
You should. The natural. I feel like you'd vibe with that crap. The natural light is beautiful, and she's got a bunch of plants. So
Architecture
and she's
Digest
got-
is what
she's
AD
got, like,
is.
tall woods. All right,
Chloe's
Myres,
turn.
Chloe.
Yeah, I've had some time to
Cloconut.
That's a new development.
His favorite.
Coca-Cola.
Clocaine.
She's used that before too.
Clocaine.
For me, I love a really cool study. So like black study is cool, or just like
black study. What does that mean?
Like a black.
Like a room.
Yeah, like a study room. Like
Will
that's
Carlisle
crazy.
His office is painted black.
Or just like a different, like something with like an accent wall in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then like cool built-ins for like your books and stuff. I just love like office spaces. They're really cool to me. And I feel like you can have a lot of art within that. And then I also love natural light. Y'all have both been to my aunt's house. And she has like her living room is literally just like all windows, and it's so nice.
Yeah.
So I would second what Anna said with windows, and then probably like a lot of
good pun there. It's your second. It's your second answer. It was her second answer. You said
isn't that like a quadruple entendre or something?
Totally.
I'll quadruple entendre Anna there with the windows.
I love like old furniture, like old wooden furniture. So I definitely want to incorporate a lot of like wooden furniture.
Yeah.
A lot of like thrifted knickknacks to decorate.
I love
and
that.
Cool art and stuff like that. So
I love that. I think that your aunt's house is like one of those houses where I'm interested in what you would say about this, Natalie, because you like when things are like unique and like an art piece will take your eyes somewhere. I think that's really cool. But I think that your aunt's house is like a perfect example of like, I feel like when design, specifically in architecture, is done like really well, it's almost boring, if that makes any sense at all. Like your aunt's house is like, when you get there, you're like, wow.
It just like makes
it's
sense.
Unbelievable. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It leaves no room for confusion or anything like that, I guess. But then I guess after a while, your aunt and your uncle are probably like, I don't know what they would be like if, like now I imagine they're probably, the view is just like amazing. So like sunrise and sunset is new every single day, right? Mm-hmm. But like when you go on their back porch, it's like everything is just perfect. It's like it is the way it's supposed to be, you know? Mm-hmm. And you go in their living room, it's just like everything is perfect. Everything is put up in, even like when I opened up their fridge, like their fridge was like perfectly organized. I was like, that is even more weird to me than like having
be
perfect
art
or not weird. It's just
year.
Like unfamiliar. My art or my fridge is like a freaking dumpster, and it's crazy to me. But I do think that like honestly, my living room, I've done like a million variations of it, and I feel like I finally got it dialed in where there's like a few different random things I can do, but to a certain extent, like my living room is kind of a little like just like not shoeboxy. I don't know. It's just like there's nothing. Like I got the furniture that I wanted. I got the TV that I wanted. I got the I built the stuff that I wanted to do. I got the speakers that I wanted. I got the vinyl setup that I wanted. Like everything's just there, and I'm like, oh, I guess now all I just have to listen. Like now all I can do is just like watch TV and listen to music. That's all there is. Like I can't sit in here and be like, I wish I could do this and this and this and this and this, which is like kind of what architects or like people that are like design brains do, which I feel like is kind of a funny thing. Like if like one day y'all are just gonna have houses that you're obsessed with and you're gonna be like, this is it. Got it. Done.
Yeah, I feel like good
you know
design
what I mean?
Almost like you're supposed to not completely notice that it's good because it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, like this is just like the way it's supposed to be. And I feel like that also goes along with your whole like symmetrical thing. Like good symmetry should be you not noticing that it's symmetrical almost because you're just like, oh, like that makes sense.
Like when you like walk into the printer just came on. Interesting. When you like walk into a house and you like over like sometimes you'll just like be at a house sometimes in the driveway or like where you park is like noticeably annoyingly far from like where you enter the home. That's kind of how I feel sometimes whenever things like aren't symmetrical. I'm like, man, like I just parked in like by the garage and I walked through the garage, through a coat room, through a bedroom, through a bathroom, through an office, through a kitchen, and now I'm in the living room. It's like it's pretty weird to do that way when you could have just like walked straight through the front door, or if like you walk through Frank Lloyd Wright has that thing with like compression and release, like where he does this in his houses, where you'll go through a hallway that like makes you feel small, but it's because when you walk into a living room, it like exposes. And I think it's like this coolest thing ever when you like watch his videos, when you understand that, because it makes so much sense. It feels like everything's like a big, like, you know, exposed like announcement or something like that. But when you go through a house where it's like, yeah, park in the garage, you have to walk through like 18 different rooms, and it's not on purpose. It like frustrates you. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but kind of like what you're saying.
Chloe, you said dark office, windows.
Myres is trying to keep us on track.
Wooden furniture.
Wooden furniture. Okay.
Nice.
Cool decoration.
She double on Conrad.
Yeah.
Anna has a fourth.
Yeah, I'm adding a fourth.
Okay.
I want to bring back conversation pits. And I don't care about the controversy, because if you say that conversation pits aren't practical, you're saying that you don't want to have a conversation with me. So just walk away.
Wow.
You don't want to talk in my household. Get out. Like,
wow.
Conversation
cool.
pits. Frank Lloyd Wright had him in every single house he
I
did.
love his stuff, honestly.
Yeah.
It's so cool. There was one we were looking at briefly in survey. It was like the Riverside one or something.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's like the epitome
Yeah.
to me.
You talking about the waterfall, like the one from Ferris Bueller's Day
Like
Off?
that's what I'm talking
Falling
about.
water,
with
I
like,
think is what it's called.
yeah, with the nature integration. That's kind of what I'm talking about. Not
You want a house on
that-
top of a waterfall.
That's
exactly.
like the
All of my
like the
houses
most
are going to
famous
be on
house
top
of all
of
time.
waterfalls.
Besides like the British Palace, like that's
Yeah.
the most studied home.
It's like
ever.
the
Anna
White
makes
House
houses
and then
for rich hermits.
Yeah.
Anna's like,
I hope to
yeah,
be
I
a
kind of
rich
just want to
hermit,
do
so-
like the best house that's ever been invented ever.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean,
really
if you're
that
going to
one.
shoot for the stars,
That's
and then
right.
I want to
slightly
play
miss,
basketball.
it's
My
okay.
favorite basketball player is Michael Jordan. So
I love basketball. I love Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Natalie, what's yours?
I would say
I'm probably gonna interrupt you and go on like a 30-minute long rabbit
That's
trail, and
okay.
Myres is gonna get mad at me again. So just
I'm not
wanna go ahead and
mad.
give you-
I'm not mad.
That's
I'm just trying to stay on track.
I would say I really like. Okay, I don't like super. Like Anna said, she doesn't like a ton of color. I don't really either. But I also like. I like earthy tones that are like darker. So it's kind of a mix of what Chloe and Anna said. Like,
Wow.
Like I really like. I don't. Okay, in my house, all of our houses are like cream, and it's super pretty. But I really like the vibe of how, like you were saying, like your living room, like it all extends, like the whole house's vibe like makes sense. Like but I like color, like I like dark, like I like the idea of having dark walls in like certain rooms, like kind of to give that contrast, but still like so there's color and not just like white, but it's also like it's not like obnoxious.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean? I also like I think you already said like it's like in a perfect plot of land or whatever, but I feel like this isn't necessarily one of my three, but like I think one of the cool things that I've learned about architecture so far this semester is that like architecture is like how the house is placed is just as important as what the house looks like.
Yeah.
In the sense that like you have to think about like which side does the sun come up and where does it set, like in relation to where the house is placed and how the windows work. And I think that that's like really cool and not something I had necessarily like thought about to begin with. And so I also like the idea of like natural light and like, and then the other one I would say is like I really like wood tones and like kind of like rustic, but also not like my grandparents' house is like in the middle of nowhere and it just is, it's covered in like taxidermy. I don't want like a Hunter Lodge vibe, but I like stonework and like I like a good chimney that has like some stonework.
Yeah.
Like a fireplace, because my family, like we use our fireplace a lot, and it's like everybody will sit in there if there's a fireplace, and it's like maybe we're not like in some deep philosophical convo, but like everybody's in the same room.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I don't know. So fireplace for sure, and then like wood stonework, and then like kind of some earthy hues, if you know what I mean.
Cool.
I love that.
Yeah.
Those are her 3. I don't have a rabbit trail for you, Myres. What's yours?
Wait.
Okay.
What do y'all like pops of color? Like random accent colors and stuff throughout? Because I do. Like, I feel like my outfit is a good example of it. But like, I have a fun
Bang,
red shoe.
shoes.
But then, like, my clothes are like
Monochromatic.
just monochromatic. And so, like, would you want that like in your house?
I don't think I would want like a white couch and then like a bright red pillow. But I do like
Even at Christmas time?
no.
Especially at Christmas time.
But like I know you like that yellow ochre color. And I like that. Like I like that it's like I really like green colors, so it's like if you have a bunch of like greens and then you randomly have like kind of a more like warm color like an orange or a yellow, like I like that kind of like pops, but I don't like I will wear bright colors, but I don't think I would want it like in my house like a super bright red pillow.
Yeah, I think that there's like a way to incorporate it in a really like I'm thinking about one of my best friends, Caleb. He lives in Colorado, and his living room, they painted the walls like a mute gray, like a really dark gray. That's like a matte, and it's the best vibe ever. And in their living room, they have like a really nice, just like kind of agreeable couch. I don't remember what color it is, but that's how agreeable it is. And then they have a side chair that's like this mid-century modern orange, like beautiful chair. And I think like the pop of orange in that, like, and they also have a art TV, and they put like orange art, like orange and gray art on the frame TV, and it's just like the perfect vibe. It like brings everything together, because I do think that when everything becomes like, there is a way to make it like too stale, and I think it's pretty cool when people incorporate like a, I don't know, like a bright poppy piece of art, or like I really think it's cool when people do grout like on a tile, like Caleb and Abby in their bathroom, they did like a red grout with white tile, and it looks so freaking cool. And they did a red light fixture.
Natalie looks like horrified.
Like
I'm just trying to figure out how that would look.
Have you been to Hero in Homewood, the donut place?
That's what I mean. I mean, like it would kind of look like a diner.
I mean, like,
but like if that's your vibe, then like, fair enough.
I don't know. I mean, I don't really know if Hero, like, what pegs me as like being. I don't really know if that really pegs me as being like diner vibes. Have you been to the one in here? Like, have you been to Inside Hero, the one in Homewood? I feel like that blue grout on their cabinet is like freaking cool. Yeah. But also, like, that's not my vibe. I've never seen
that in a house.
Yeah. Their bathroom's like freaking cool. I don't really know how to like get a picture of their bathroom. I guess you can text me. No, it just makes sense.
Send me a picture of your bathroom.
Yeah, real quick. This freaking stupid head doesn't believe me that your bathroom's cool. So
this random freshman girl from Sanford doesn't believe that, and I cared too much about her opinion to not show her.
We need to agree.
There's an interesting thing I've been thinking about. What is an area in your life that you choose not to differentiate yourself? Because so many of us sitting here are very opinionated, artistic, like to look different or choose different things and try and be unique.
Easy Chick-fil-A order, number 1. Straight up. Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A. I love Cookout. I'm not trying to like...
What's your Cookout order?
Big double burger. Chicken quesadilla, Cajun fries, blueberry cheesecake milkshake.
Oh.
Or cheerwine, depending. But most of the time it's a milkshake.
Wait, so by differentiating, you mean like
individualizing
that
yourself.
Would be like basic?
I did not go in and research what was the best Garmin watch to get. I just got the cheap one because I didn't care to figure out
like
what's
pretty much
gonna.
We practice toxic individualism in so many areas of our life. What's one area where you're just like, I'm okay being the same. I'm okay being normal here. I don't have to be individual.
I think so. I used to try to be one of those people that was like, I listen to really underground music. This person has like 10 monthly listeners. Like,
sure,
I'm just that person, you know? Just with trying to be, you know, different, rejecting like pop music in the sense of the fact that other people listen to it, you know?
And you did play Beyonce on the way here, so I'm curious if you,
this
now
is
you're
where
just
we're going.
like,
well, I wouldn't say fully accepting it in the sense of Beyonce. I think I know when to play certain music. Like for me, if I'm DJing, I'm gonna try to play basic music because I love when my friends all sing, and like we just have fun singing, and just, you know, I want everybody to know it so that they can like participate. But if I'm by myself, I guess I still do kind of listen to some basic music. I love dad rock, and like everyone, I think that's becoming another trend with music, and I'm gonna try not to be that person that's like,
what is an example of dad rock?
Like classic rock, glam metal, all that kind of stuff. Not like
AC/DC and stuff. That's what dad rock is.
I
Guns
mean,
N' Roses.
kind of. I'm
That's awesome.
honestly not a really big fan of AC/DC. I listen to a lot more like
hair bands.
Yes, like glam metal hair bands. Even
sick.
like Winger, like Van Halen, and all that kind of stuff. You know, just super fun and poppy, but also doesn't feel like I'm trying to be like a really emo man. You know, so
sure.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I guess that's kind of basic, but not basic. You know,
Sure.
because I'm not trying to be like indie, but at the same time, it's not super obscure.
Yeah, I feel like music is like an area where you got to sacrifice at some level. Like you can't niche yourself too much in music. Otherwise, you're just the only one into it. You're just like a lonely. Like, this punk core Baltimore house 1980s scene is amazing. And you're just like, what?
That's 11 people.
Yeah.
Another thing
It's
is
like you and 3 people love that crap.
Exactly. Another thing is Instagram Reels. I love Instagram so much.
I love that. I love that shameless
It's
plug.
really funny. Like, honestly, if I'm looking for a laugh, I'm going to sit down and open Instagram. And I'm not ashamed to say
I don't know
that.
if I've ever disagreed with something anymore in my entire life. You know, but, you know, the thing is, I learned through pain. I mean, you haven't had any pain yet.
Myres has the craziest digital footprint of anyone I know.
Literally?
I actually just got back on Instagram last week. And I
sent Steven something that was like really deep internet.
It baffles me. I'm back on Instagram every time I get on there. So many people have sent me a reel. None of them are funny. None of them. It's crazy.
Okay, but like that's
to
the
me.
point. Like it's funny because it's not funny.
Yeah.
And it's funny to like Instagram because you're not supposed to because it's not funny.
That's fair. That's fair, I guess. Yeah. But I don't know. I think I just don't know how to. I don't know how to explain this without sounding so pretentious. I'm not. But yeah, I just think that whenever you get on there, I think that it makes reality worse because people don't know how to be actually funny anymore. In like a real setting, a lot of times whenever literally I'll be with people, and there's like, you know, the group starts laughing and stuff, and then someone like, you can tell like. I've taken so many psychology classes in my life. I feel like I just maybe over prescribe in these moments, but people will like try to join in on the funny, and they'll just talk about a reel that they saw, and I'm like, oh, that's not clever with what we're talking about at all. You're just wanting to say the last time that you laughed. That was all. So I feel like I've noticed that a lot in the societies of today.
In the societies.
And I really do think that Instagram Reels are a net negative for the world because, short-term media. But I'm absolutely shooting a dead horse actively right now. Another thing that I think I've seen a lot too is when I talk about that with people that are particularly freshmen, because I work in college ministry, so I talk to a lot of college students a lot. I've never seen more disinterested faces. It's actually it's crazy. It feels like I'm speaking into thin air whenever I talk about why Instagram could be bad. Why do you think that is?
Oh no, I agree with you. I think Instagram's terrible.
Sure.
That's why I'm saying that I think it's funny because some people don't realize that it's not funny. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's your guilty pleasure vibes.
Kind of.
Sure.
But like, I also just like laughing at people that don't realize that it's ironic.
Sure.
You know? And that's why it's
Anna
funny.
really likes laughing
Sure.
at
One
people.
of the funniest parts about Instagram Reels is just seeing who's liked the Instagram Reels.
Yeah.
Like me.
Yes.
Exactly. Sometimes we'll just send this to Chloe and be like, Myres? Question mark? What is this?
Yeah.
It's community building.
Yeah.
We can bond over that.
I mean, I sent
I also
Myres a
think
reel
that
right before this.
I genuinely like. I also think in my experience being off of it for quite a while now, and I got back on because I want to market this it doesn't matter. We can talk about it later. I got back on so I could market this thing that I want to do with like that will be like this community building kind of like pop-up event thing. But anyways, the only reason so I needed a platform and a medium to put that stuff out there. But the thing is, I also think that like another thing about Reels is like nobody even pays attention to real Instagram anymore because it's like Reels have just taken over so much. That's also a pretty big bummer to me because I think that Instagram is helpful in like the timeline sense because like it is nice to know, oh, like my friend had a baby. Like Seeds is having a latte art throwdown or whatever, but nobody ever looks at that kind of stuff. Everybody's like stories has boring freaking, well, here's a special needs person boxing another special needs person. Like literally like what shows up on Reels. It's crazy. But I think that not being on it and then being back on and seeing stuff like that is just like so like crazy. I don't know. I just like I literally haven't been on Instagram Reels in so long that whenever I got back in, it was like I don't know how to explain it, but it was just like so jarring seeing some of the things.
The thing is, are you telling on yourself here? Because there is a thing called a For You page. So what are you interested in is the real question.
I do think that definitely that's because of some stuff that I've engaged with previously. But yeah, like Myres, I get back on. Myres sends me a reel of a cat just talking about how it pooped its pants.
Wait, Larry? Just kidding.
Like legit, like that was the entire. Like if you're wondering if
there's an AI voice over funny pictures of cats, and one of the cats like.
It literally
was
posted
it
a ton of
like
explicitives, but it was
yes.
like I just pooped my pants. Oh my gosh, I think I just pooped my pants. I just pooped my pants. Oh my gosh, I think I just pooped my pants. Literally, that was the whole reel, and I was like, "What?"
It reminds
I
me
sent it
of
to him because it was literally so stupid, and I was like, "Welcome back to Instagram."
There's a bunch of like AI cat ones though. Yeah. Like there was a trend where it would just be like these heartbreaking stories, and then they would go the Billie Eilish song. What was I made for? But it was like meowing.
Meow, 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 meow. Yep.
Yeah.
That one was pretty funny. That was pretty funny. I think it's crazy how people are like. Sorry, I really feel like I need to get this out.
Okay.
I'm gonna interrupt you. Like I feel like it's so funny how people will be like, "Oh, I'm so tired. I'm going to take a nap," and like genuinely they need a nap because if they are tired, and I'm like in the back of my head, I'm like, "You're not taking a nap. You're going to reel sesh for 2 hours." And when you could be out doing things in the world, when you literally could be out doing things in the world, instead, you're in your room watching reels, and your brain is intaking cat AI memes. Like, it's not, everybody's just like, oh, I've got reel sesh, that's hilarious. But it's like, when you actually look at what you're doing, it's like, what? Like, can you imagine that being like in real life? Like, can you imagine like walking on Ben Brown and there was a person, a real person, like me. I was like tabling on Ben Brown. And I was just like, I'm going to voice over crazy stuff of these two cats on the table. You would be like, you are so strange. And you would never interact with it. You'd be like, and maybe you would. Maybe that would be like freaking crazy. But like,
it would probably end up on Instagram.
It would, and people would on Instagram be like, "Whoa, that's crazy." But but for some reason, because it's on that platform, you're just like, whoa, like this is crazy. Someone did this. I got a freaking like look at Myres like this. Oh my gosh, comment like freaking cat's crazy. It has 16,000 likes. I don't know. It's just like the brain cycle is just so jarring to me being back on of like, wow, this is kind of nuts. But I also kind of sound like a freaking old head right now, so I could just shut up.
If I can touch on that for a second.
Touch on it.
So I know that like everyone's hating on Instagram Reels like as they should. You know,
sure,
obviously.
Sure.
I'm agreeing with like the majority of what you're saying, obviously.
Yeah.
But like this is not new. Like Instagram Reels in itself is new, but like people in like 2000 were watching silly cat videos on YouTube. Like people are hating on like, oh, brain rot, but I'm like, y'all were rotting your brains like before I was born.
Yeah,
you know?
just at insanely lower levels.
Exactly. That's true.
Yeah.
Bring back Vine.
Dude.
Like there are a lot of weird things though that like even before like we were on Instagram, like there are some crazy like random things that you would watch on YouTube.
Fred was the original brain rot. Genuinely.
One of the funny things about
Annoying Orange, you remember?
Annoying Orange was one of the funny things about Vine was like there were 15 people who made like the popular videos.
Yeah.
And so you would like laugh at David Dobrik, you would laugh at freaking Cody Ko, you would laugh at Cody Johns.
David Lopez.
And then you would scroll and then there'd be like something weird and random, and you'd kind of be like, nah, I'm good. And then you would just get off. Because it was like I got my 5 funny videos in for the day.
My longest Vine session would probably be like maybe 15 or 20 minutes.
Yeah. Which part of that was also that the videos were shorter.
Yeah.
But it was just funny that like now it's an endless spiral into the pits of Instagram.
Well, also with that, I feel like, sorry, I'm very opinionated on the subject. With that, I feel like it is a very addicting and like spiraling platform. But also, we can be so quick to like blame the platform when it's literally a discipline and a user error problem. Because like, literally, you just have to quit ignoring the voice in your head saying, "Hey, you should probably put your phone down." Like, literally, just put the phone down because it's still gonna be there. And I have to remind myself that like, I'll mainly get on my phone when I'm not doing something that I like. Like for me, I'm very busy. Like, I have a job and I have classes and I'm a part of like 8 organizations on campus and I have like a ton to keep up with, as well as like a business and a website and like planning my future, you know, like all of these things are so like high held over your head that everyone feels like they have to like escape, you know, almost, which like we were actually talking about this in my seminar class the other day. You feel like you're escaping when you're going to like reels or like fiction or whatever, but what you're not paying attention to is like the other problems that come as a part of this like escapism. And that's like fascinating to me because I'm like, you say that you're giving your brain a rest by going on your phone, but like your dopamine levels are rising and like you're teaching yourself that the only way to rest is to entertain yourself. And anyways, that's a whole tangent, but I think that's so interesting.
I think that's the most fascinating part about it is like people go there to rest. Like people don't get on Instagram to be active. Like people go to Instagram to like turn their brain off. And I talked about this with my counselor, and he was like the whole idea that your brain can rest with your eyes open is like the weirdest thing. And he's like, I remember him saying like you have to give your brain credit because your brain is like trying to produce serotonin, and isn't it serotonin that gives you happiness? Yeah, serotonin and dopamine. And like when you do that at rapid rates, like your brain's gonna want to like replicate that because you're like, that's why, you know, you think brain, heart, soul thing. Like your brain's the only one like keeping you on there. Your heart and your soul are not keeping you on Instagram, except for maybe like manipulation of emotion, of like popularity or something. Like maybe like bad motives would keep you on Instagram, which might be a little bit of heart, but like mainly it's just brain trying to keep your dopamine on. But I like really struggled with like sleep paralysis for a while because of YouTube. And that was kind of like when I say I learned through pain, that's what I'm referring to. But I remember talking to my counselor about it one time, and he was like, Steven, quite literally, like, you cannot get rest with your eyes open. Like, you have to close your eyes. And in order to fall asleep, you cannot, like, be looking at a screen. It was just, like, something that simple of, like, your brain, like, whenever I would, like, get to a place where I could fall asleep, I would close my eyes, and then my brain would want me to reopen my eyes. That was, like, why I got sleep paralysis. And it was, like, this crazy thing of, like, I got in this, like, dopamine addiction of like having to have my eyes open to do it, and you're not ever getting actual rest. Like, you're not literally ever getting actual rest. And there is such thing as like active rest.
Yeah.
But that's still not that. Like, active rest is like going on a hike in nature, or like going to like talk to a friend,
reading a book.
There is like stuff that your brain can like appropriately get rest through. And I think that's like so interesting how, like, you know, every single generation dealt with unique challenges. Like, last generation probably felt really unique challenges in the fact that it was like just tech in general, you know, and then the generation before that was like boomers, and you're like trying to figure out how to be like not in war, and the generation before that was like, you know, war. Literally. And then the generation before that was like, okay, we all work in factories now and not on farms. And, you know, it's like this crazy, you know, we've all struggled with things. So I'm not saying we're an individual and like we're the first people to struggle, but we are the first people to struggle with like such horrible mental health, like ramification ways. And also, like, the craziest thing is, like, young people aren't the only people who do it. Like, there's also like, everybody just calls them NPCs, but like there's like adults who also are like horrible parents and horrible people who also are just like ridiculously addicted to Facebook Reels. Like, my grandmother,
Facebook has Reels.
Yes, yeah. My grandmother is like loves Facebook Reels. Like, spends like a lot of time on Facebook Reels, and I think that's like so crazy that they've like found, you know, like like whenever you get on Facebook Reels, it's just like political, like, you know, it's like level 1 rage bait type stuff. And my grandmother eats that crap up. So does my grandfather. Like, it's actually kind of crazy. Or like adults on TikTok. Oh my gosh.
I just wish there was a way to like I like Instagram. Like, I like being able to like post stuff. Like, I wouldn't say I post like super often, but like I do enjoy posting. Like, I knew people in high school and just like friends in general that like hated posting. And I was like, well, then why do you have Instagram? Like, it's one thing, like, I get you, like, you want to see what things are going on and stuff, but like, I just enjoy posting, but I wish that there was a way to like discipline myself of like, I actually do like posting on Instagram. I like putting my photos on there and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, I wish there was a way to like turn off Reels.
I agree.
So that like I could still use Instagram for what I like it for, but also like get rid of Reels, because it's like, if I like go into Instagram and then I see that little like ominous button at the bottom to go to Reels, I'm gonna click it. Like, just because it's like, and I think it was really interesting when you were talking about like rest, because a lot of stuff like that I've talked about with my like counselor is about how like I have to learn how to like actively rest too.
Yeah.
In order to be able to like sleep, because like sleep is like the ultimate like rest.
Yeah.
And so you like need lots of sleep. And then like something I think is funny is like whenever people pass out, like the act of passing out is like literally making yourself horizontal so that you like rest and blood goes to your head so that you like
interesting
can like function. But like I do think it's super important to actively rest, and that's what I've like talked to my counselor about a lot, of like I'm really bad at that, because if I just like I thought I was a lot more extroverted, but since coming to college I feel like I recharge by myself.
Yeah.
And so like if I'm just like constantly going from like thing to thing, then it's like sleep isn't enough. Like I have to like me and Chloe have like instilled like reading time where we like sit together and read. Like,
let's go.
Because like
it's fire.
Like, and we're both like not
it's fire.
Not anymore, but for a while like she was reading a book series that I gave her, and I was reading a book series that she gave me.
No way.
So it's like
it was fire.
Like it's a great
That's
time.
fire.
But like if I don't do stuff like that, then it's like I just like feel so like overextended at the end of the day. If I only spend my day like doom scrolling going to class, doing homework, and always being with people, like, and then go to sleep. Like, I can't.
Yeah, by the time you lay down, you're just like,
yeah,
precisely.
Like literally. So this like thing that I told y'all I did on Wednesday. Yeah, it was freaking crazy. So it's this like leadership cohort thing. I don't know how much details to give, but the guy who's leading, his name's Cameron Cole. He's doing this. I think he's studied or something, or he's doing a dissertation on like how to apply business leadership principles to faith without sucking the Holy Spirit out of it. I think that's like kind of an easy way to explain it. And I work in ministry. I'm a minister, and I think it's really interesting how a lot of people in ministry just pretty much sacrifice all sort of like business logic and stuff. I'm really excited to talk to you about this, Myres, because the guy that I talked to was like brilliant, and you would literally while I was there, I was like, Myres would eat this crap up. But anyways, while he was talking about it, he was talking about like how in order to be like an effective leader, you have to be 5 things, and I can't remember what the other 4 is, but we talked about the first one. It was like emotionally healthy, and he was like, in order to be emotionally healthy, you have to be 2 things. One, you need to have like you need to have healthy life rhythms or patterns. And this guy, the guy who was leading it, he like back in, I can't remember what year, 2018 I think, is one of his sons passed away, and he's like in a wreck, all this stuff. A few months into him trying to like mourn this and process this, he's talking to a psychiatrist, and a psychiatrist he was like, should I quit my job? Like, should I take more time to like do this? And he's like, all you need to do is like cut out enough time to have 30 minutes of exercise every single day, 8 to 9 hours of sleep every single day, and 45 minutes of downtime every single night before you go to sleep. That was like the 3 things. And if you were to ask people today, do you get 8 to 9 hours of sleep? They're like, okay, maybe. Do you get 30 minutes of exercise every day? No shot. The average person's actually doing that. And then do you spend 45 minutes of downtime? And what the psychiatrist means by downtime is like no electronics, wind down time every single night. Literally maybe like 0.02 out of every 10 people in America do that, which is just like crazy. But that's like how a licensed psychiatrist told him to like rest after his son died. It was like those 3 very simple things, which was like so cool. And then his second one was like know your story well, which is like know what like your family of origin, know how that affects you, in every single way. Also like what we're talking about right now, Natalie, it's like you have like counselors. Like one of the coolest parts I've experienced in counseling is you don't like go and you like figure out something about your life and it's like, oh, now I have a life hack and I don't struggle with this anymore.
Yeah.
But when you feel the struggles that you have every single day, you know like what they are, and it kind of like releases them from power to a certain extent.
And you like, like how to cope like with those things.
Yeah, you can
in
make a strategy or something.
Healthy way. Like,
yeah.
I've been in counseling for like a really long time. Like almost like 10 years.
Wow.
So like.
Same person?
Well, I had the same counselor from like literally 5th grade through my senior year. But whenever I was like in high school and stuff, she was very busy. And so it was like, I would go like months in between appointments.
Wow.
And so then by the time I got to my appointment, like I'm a high schooler.
Different person.
High school Natalie. I'm like, I feel like it was just like a rant session.
Yeah.
And I would just tell her all the things that had happened. And so there wasn't any like growth because there wasn't like, there wasn't time for her to be like picking apart little things and telling me how this works and how this affected me. It was just kind of like me getting it all out and her like validating that that's what I felt, but not really like adding on her like expertise. But then the summer before like coming to Sanford, me and my sister lives in Auburn, and we both see the same counselor. And I see her through like telehealth, and so does Hallie, but the counselor's based in Auburn.
Cool.
But Hallie could technically go see her in person, but it's been really nice for the both of us to kind of be able to like kind of do your own counseling in a safe space. And that's been really hard for me with like sharing a room where it's like, it's kind of like awkward.
Yeah.
If I have to be like, you can't be in here because I like, it's confidential. Like, so that's been kind of interesting to navigate, but I do like that it's like telehealth or whatever. Like that's the platform it uses because it's like, you can kind of be in your own space and like around your own things. And it's also just like obviously it's more convenient than having to drive somewhere.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy like talking to her, and I like met with her, like she's on maternity leave right now, but I met with her like every week for first semester, and like that was like life changing. Like that was like, dang, like I can actually like kind of like pick apart things that are like really important, and like how my brain works and why I respond to certain things a certain way. Yeah. And it was like really cool. Like I really like that kind of stuff, and I feel like I have a pretty good like I can like wrap my head around it pretty well just because of how long I've been in counseling. But I think it's really cool.
That is really cool. Started at Outback, we just ended there. That's pretty crazy.
Light talk to deep talk.
That's right. Middle talk.
That's how all of our conversations go.
Yeah. I also like how Anna was the only one to share her basic thing that she does.
Oh, yeah.
I thought about circling back, but we were having a good conversation. I didn't want to interrupt.
Anyway, so
the question.
What you choose not to differentiate on. Like I just got a cheap Garmin and didn't try and figure out like the most perfect fitness watch ever, like I try and do with everything else.
I said Chick-fil-A. He said Garmin.
So it's just me and Chloe.
Yeah, just you and Chloe. Yeah.
What do you not individualize?
This might be a hot take.
Okay.
But I would say like fun shoes. Like I don't think people fully like identify with that being like kind of a basic thing to do, is have like cool shoes, like oh, New Balances, oh, like Adidas,
rainbows,
those types of things. But like I love like having cool shoes, and I and I feel like that is kind of like a little bit basic, even though it's like still cool and you can incorporate into your style.
Yeah, I feel like definitely having like sneakers are the sneaker revolutionized everything. Facts.
That's
fire. Fact.
Natalie, anything that you don't differentiate on?
Well, in high school, I feel like I didn't differentiate on anything except for like very few things. Like
NPC vibes.
Like I felt like I wasn't like, I didn't want to be like everybody else, but I felt like I kind of had to be in order to like have friends. And so like I didn't like, I'm kind of a big person on like, I don't like buying super, like I just don't enjoy buying super expensive trendy clothes just because I think it's a waste of money because it just kind of like ends up going away.
Facts.
And a lot of and like I've always kind of been more like, I'm not going to buy something unless I like it. Like I'm not going to buy it because I think everybody else likes it.
Shut up. Stop telling me to get Lulu.
Yeah, exactly. Circling back to the summit. But I don't know. I feel like I would say like music taste. Like I feel like I listen to a lot of like different people because that's how my brother was, and like I kind of got that from being around him.
Yeah.
But like I would say I have pretty like basic music. Like I love me some Noah Kahan. Like I'm gonna be listening. I'm gonna be jamming out to that.
I love that. Are you a Swiftie?
No,
absolutely
we can't go that far.
Not. Okay, I do not like Taylor Swift because I think people worship her.
Dude, one thing that really, really ticked me off. Simone Biles ticks me off in this way too. Dude, straight up at the Grammys, every time that somebody won an award, Taylor Swift acted like she was their freaking best friend. And I was like, dude, get out of the way.
She just always wants the spotlight on
She didn't win a single award. She was front and freaking center at that thing. It made me so mad.
I just don't
hate
like
how
her.
she gets hyper analyzed. Like she like moves her left arm and people are like, "Oh, see, that was poetic because this." And I'm like, "Yo,
like, no, it's not.
Like
also, dude, like anytime Suni Lee or anybody on the U.S. gymnastics team won anything, Simone Biles was just like, would not stop hugging them and being in the shot. And I'm just like, dude, get out of the freaking way, man. Like, quit acting like you're the king of the castle. King of the castle. I'm joking. I'm being facetious. I don't really care. I don't really have an opinion about that at all.
Steven does actually hate Simone Biles.
I do actually hate Simone Biles.
Really in-depth opinion, but I don't have an opinion.
But I don't like, I wouldn't say I like basic music, but I think that someone could definitely peg me as like, you like indie, like folk.
That's what Noah Kahan is.
Exactly. But like I don't like Taylor Swift.
You fit into a box is what you're telling us.
Like I don't like pop. So I don't like Taylor Swift.
Do you like Bad Bunny?
No.
I do.
I love Bad Bunny.
But like
I love me some
if
Spanish
you like
artists.
Yes.
if you start
Don't get me
talking about
started.
like indie folk anything, that's what I like. She does. I know a Spanish song now, and I don't know what the words mean because she plays it all the time.
Sing a Spanish song.
Yeah.
They know my rotation of like 3 songs that we
Which
know
song
every word
are you
to.
talking about?
I love Selena, not Selena Gomez. Selena Quintanilla.
Ah.
She's fluent
Listen-
in Spanish.
Listen to
Are you really fluent in Spanish?
Yes.
Are you for
Listen,
real?
It's enraging.
How are you that?
How are you
Alright.
that?
Let's
It's
dive into this
enraging.
subject. So actually, this sounds crazy, but Jesus gave it to me because I'm being so serious. I was literally awful at Spanish until I went to Guatemala. Knew probably like 4 phrases in Spanish. And it wasn't even the immersion itself, because like legit the first day that I got on the mission trip, I couldn't talk to anyone besides like, hey, what's your name? How are you? All this in Spanish. Literally at night, I was like, Lord, I need you to like help me figure out how to connect with them because I'm sucking at Spanish right now. And the only thing that I know how to do, that they know how to do, is play soccer. And so it was like that and no verbal communication at all. And I woke up the next morning, walked outside to go play soccer, and had like literally an entire conversation with this kid that was like non-basic Spanish at all. And I was
Wow.
like, where is this coming
That's crazy.
from? And like ever since then, I have definitely like lost a little bit of it because I
Sure.
don't speak as much. And like, you know, immersion is obviously the way to like learn a language. But after being there the whole week, like legitimately became fluent. And I like went to my Spanish teacher and I was like, how can I keep up with this? And like, am I like, would you consider me actually fluent? And she was like, yeah, you literally picked it up. I don't know. I guess it's just immersion and all this.
Oh.
And so yeah, I'm trying
That's
to like
crazy,
still
bro.
keep up with it, but like I can understand pretty much anything that anyone tells me.
Yeah, that's wild. That happened on one of the mission trips I was on one time. This girl named Jacqueline. She didn't know Spanish at all. Shared the gospel in Spanish. Left the house. They were like, dude, that was crazy how you just shared the gospel in Spanish. She was like, what are you talking about? Nuts.
That's
She's
so
never
cool.
been able to speak Spanish since either. But yeah, that kind of stuff happens. That's weird. All over the freaking Myres' stomach and that weird Pentecostal service. That's crazy. We've never talked about that on the podcast.
Random
We've literally
pull.
never talked about that on the podcast.
Yeah, we
Well, now
haven't.
you
I
gotta.
haven't.
Dude, that's an hour-long story. We'll have to keep that for another.
Yeah, stay tuned. Stay tuned. I'll tell it. I'll tell it one day.
We need to have a cystic fibrosis episode.
We could do that.
That's crazy. Yeah,
I'll do my
Myres
treatment
went to
while we do it.
You're gonna sound like you're talking
That's
into a
pretty
fan.
That's exactly what I sound
Give the
like.
listeners
I
some
called
immersion.
Myres last night whenever I was like, what's up, man? He was like, hey. And I was like,
Hey, what's
like,
up?
dude, you want to run? He was like, nope, doing my treatment.
I
So-
tried on his treatment whenever I was like really little. I think I almost like suffocated.
I think that's
know
pretty
how to
funny
breathe.
how sometimes whenever we talk about we're young, you just said I was really little. Like you referenced your
When I was,
size.
like
Whenever I was
4,
little.
when I was a wee lad.
Whenever I was like 6, I was little.
I remember when we went to Chloe's house last semester in Mississippi, and that was like, I think I'd met you before. Had we met them yet?
You came to Claire's
met at,
birthday party.
Oh, right.
back
That
then.
was
Yeah,
when
yeah.
I met both of you.
I don't even
Okay.
think y'all knew what sorority y'all were in. I think y'all were
We didn't.
rushing.
Natalie walked up and Chloe wasn't there yet, and she was just kind of like,
Well, I didn't know
"Are
what y'all
you
looked like.
Chloe's friend?"
I hate
And then she like
everything.
sat at the end of the table by herself until
We
Chloe
were-
got there.
Well, I didn't know what
I
to
thought
do.
that was hilarious.
Myres
Y'all
had
were like-
his treatment, and I don't know if she.
Yes. No.
I
Okay.
don't
I
know if she'd
I
been out
came
yet.
downstairs at
She
your
heard
house.
his treatment, and I was like walking down the stairs with her, and I was like,
What is that?
"What's that noise?" And I was like, "Oh, it's
Yeah.
Myres' treatment."
No, but like,
What is that helicopter?
but I literally just like,
What is a
I
treatment?
came
Myres? Some people have no idea
downstairs
what we're
and then
talking
I just look over and Myres is like rattling on the couch. Like,
I have a vest airway clearance system that I do twice a day that clears out the junk in my lungs.
Mucus.
Yeah. That's the short answer.
It's literally a vest that shoots air in like every like half second. It literally sounds like it's like pretty loud, and it like shakes his body. So yeah.
I just was really thrown off because you're the first person I've ever known that has cystic fibrosis. And so I was like, first of all, never met anybody that had that. And second of all, never seen that machine.
Yep.
And it was really loud.
There's one now that doesn't have to be plugged in.
Yep.
Yeah,
You can just walk around with it.
It's pretty cool.
Also, if you had to ballpark how expensive that machine is, what would your guess be?
I think. Well,
it's probably
Not you, Chloe.
very expensive. I don't know. I don't know money very well.
Okay.
I don't know money.
I feel like it'd be like a couple $1,000s.
Today, you know how people say like money up,
No.
like vibes, bad
She
vibes
broke,
down,
I'm up.
yeah, or like she broke, I'm up. Today I saw Evelyn Grace on Ben Brown, and I was like, Evelyn Grace, talk to me about 2025. She said, devil broke, I'm up. I was like, fire. Anyways, guys, this is a great episode. We've been talking for a really long time, so just want to cut us off here. But the fact of the matter is, we could keep going for a long freaking time. So we gotta have y'all back on one day
We need
For
part
sure.
two when we actually
I
know
think
what
it's
we're
kind of
talking
cool
about.
too, because like me and Myres, we're not going anywhere. We freaking love this place, Birmingham for life, baby. And because of that,
You got 4
y'all
years
have
with
literally. I was literally thinking that. I was like, wow. I mean, Chloe's not going anywhere either. You know?
Facts.
And
Birmingham for
Chloe
life.
and like that means we're just like very not on purpose going to remain friends with these people for the next 3 years of their life.
Just
Against your
Facts.
will.
I don't even want to hang out with them, but
That's
they're gonna be here.
crazy, you know.
Myres just like has.
But
to
also,
be
like,
friends with me.
they're
He's my
architecture
brother.
majors. That's freaking sick. We're gonna
Yeah.
talk about how they develop in their
We can
ability
build
to
you a
understand the
cafe.
plies.
Yeah, we'll
Right.
build you a place for WOM.
Yes.
With
Wow.
coffee.
They'll design our studio.
Cafe.
Womfy.
Womfy.
Wumpy.
Have you a cup of Womfy. Guys, this was great. Great little chat. Talked
Thanks
about
for coming
Outback.
on.
Talked about the summit. I hate the summit. Talked about Cheesecake Factory. Talked about counseling. Talked about
Outback.
IG
anything.
Reels.
Talked about Instagram. Talked about the depths of counseling. Talked about Instagram Reels again. Then we
Speaking
talked about the depths.
Spanish.
Did
Talked
talk
about
that.
architecture.
Talked about architecture.
Windows.
Talked about biomes.
Talked about windows.
Talked about spaces.
Koi ponds
Talked
in
about
houses.
koi ponds.
Talked about
Anyways,
cinder blocks.
Guys, cheerio then. Have a great day. Homework for you, actually, before you leave. If you liked this episode, send it to someone who you think would hate it. Send it to a buddy. Say, I think you would hate this podcast. Check it out. Send it to a buddy. Say, you're going to rip your brains out listening to this.
Get on Spotify and go give it 1 star.
We want 1-star reviews.
Not 5.
Easy done.
1.
Yep.
Thanks.
Cheers. Any last words? Nope. No last words.
No last words.
All right, then. One last cheese, mate. Welcome to the secret segment of the podcast where we have to wait till the very end to listen to these secrets.
Secret
So,
time.
like, I have no idea what to talk about right now. Does anybody have any secret segment ideas?
I did think about telling that story about my tummy that one time.
His tummy.
During the secret segment?
Yeah.
Gosh, dude. Okay, go for it.
Do you want me to?
I just feel like we need to like give that some serious TV time, you know. And we've had so many guests on, and they don't know what the secret segment is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I guess in short, you went to Pentecostal service.
I went to a Pentecostal revival when I was like 10, I think, and I had a bunch of people pray over me.
And you felt a great wind.
And I felt like there was like a fan blowing against my legs, but I was wearing jeans, and
Your stomach got hot.
yeah, they were laying hands on me. My stomach got really hot. I looked around to see if there was a fan blowing. There wasn't. And there were all these people praying out loud over me. And my only explanation for that was that I was feeling the Holy Spirit blowing through that room, which was crazy. That was the first time I ever felt that.
No one around them, none of the people around him felt the wind.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part.
Yeah. Well, my mom didn't, but like my friend's mom who was with us did.
Oh.
So it was this weird, like some people felt it, some people didn't.
Crazy moment.
And then my body got like really, really, really hot, like right here where my colon is, which I only have a third of my colon.
Chloe told us.
Yeah. So I don't
She
know.
poops all the time.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but God did something, I guess.
I was gonna ask if you were just tooting it up in there.
Yeah, I had Mexican food right before, so it's definitely what that was.
It was gonna be like a funny story.
No.
So I was like,
No, it was the first time
not
I ever felt the Holy
expecting
Spirit in real life.
Right.
Not
Yeah,
that
you grew
funny.
up Presbyterian. You wouldn't understand.
Yeah,
Hey,
No hate on the Presbyterian church.
I felt the
because
Holy
we
Spirit.
low-key kind of go to
Y'all
one.
probably you're probably like way smarter than everybody. You get it better.
We go to like a half-breed Presbyterian church.
Half breed. Hey, but we're not all the way there. No, we got room for the Spirit here.
Non-denom.
We
I
got a
felt the
little
Holy
bit.
Spirit before, so
Facts.
it's not.
Gang.
Proud of you.
God
the Holy
only
Spirit.
reveals himself to certain denominations.
Yeah, I've always said that.
Cool, totally biblical.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I remember you telling me that for the first time, Myres, and I was just like, "What in
Yeah.
the world?"
And then we went to South Africa, and then a lot of other like
So you did
Very-
you got healed. Like something happened. at
Something
that,
happened.
and
I don't know
you-
what.
And somehow you like didn't have to get whatever it's called, the poop bag.
well, that was when I was a child.
Oh, okay. But it didn't you get better in some tangible way after that service?
Well, we went to part of why we went was we were going on a mission trip to South Africa, and my parents were really concerned because we were going to be around a bunch of like very sick people,
Yeah.
like with HIV sick type people in South Africa, and so they were considering not taking me just because they didn't want to put my health at risk, but they had been praying a lot about it and felt like it was the right decision to take me. And so my mom went there, and my mom has always been like a firm believer that healing still happens. She's not a cessationist or whatever they're called.
She's a continuationist.
Yeah. And
Presbyterian. She gets it.
I agree with her.
Yeah.
But
She's a cessationist, but she knows what the terms are.
No.
right.
No, I'm not.
Anyway, so we went there because my mom was always, if there was an opportunity for someone to pray for my healing, then she would take it. And so that's what they were doing. They were praying that I wouldn't have CF anymore. I still do, but
It didn't work.
but I went to South Africa and we were there for
Something
several
did.
weeks, and I never got sick.
It's
And I was
crazy.
fine. So
Well,
that prayer was answered.
yeah.
Protection.
It's nuts, man. That kind of stuff happens.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't have a healing story of my own, but I definitely couldn't sit here and tell a lot about the ones.
He
that
had
I've
the
experienced.
flu.
I had the flu.
He had
He had
flua.
flua.
I had flu. I didn't have
get
flub.
flub.
He
I
had
didn't get
COVID
flub.
one time.
I did have COVID one time.
He doesn't anymore.
No, I got healed.
True healing.
Won't he do it? Natalie, I'm sorry I said that about you being a Presbyterian. I don't think that you don't believe in this power of the Holy Spirit. I was just
Our best
okay.
friend is Cole Edens, who is on staff at the church that you
I
grew
love
up
the
in. So
Edmonds.
we're not anti.
I think
Yeah.
it's funny.
She went to school with them.
I think
She
it's
did.
really funny that like such a full circle moment because I was like gonna go to Auburn and like not know any of you people, and then I find out that like y'all know one of the
We know everyone
families
that you know.
that like I literally grew up with.
Yeah, that is a crazy full circle
Like
moment.
it was
I
funny.
also
like
almost
the
went
first,
to Auburn, so I almost didn't know them too.
I never was going to almost ever go to Auburn.
Same.
but like whenever like it was like the first week of school or something, and like
We were at Back 40.
We both
and-
ran
no,
into
no, no,
Cole.
no, it was Sam.
It was both of them.
Oh, Sam and Cole were together, and we both walked in, and I was like, "Hey guys," and Chloe was also
Yeah.
like, "Hey guys,"
and
I
we,
was
we
like,
had
Wow.
just become friends, and then we were
Yeah.
like, "Wait, what?"
and then Sam was like,
And
"It's
then Cole was
crazy
like,
that
"Guess
like
what? I
the
stepped
two
through a
freshmen
nail."
we know
know each other.
Our friends.
Yeah, and then Cole was like, "Yeah, I'm here because I got a tetanus shot because I stepped on a nail." And
yeah,
he was
at
like,
my
"Look
house.
at the hole in my foot," and we were like, "Oh."
Nice.
And then I think I asked him what his tattoo was that y'all
They
have
all
too.
have.
Yeah, Myres doesn't have it. Myres doesn't like tattoos. I don't like cats though, so that's really the only beef we have.
That's tragic.
I don't think
it's
are
mostly
y'all
Steven's
anti-tattoos?
beef.
I'm like literally thinking about getting a cat next year.
Like a cat tattoo or
No,
a cat?
No, a cat.
Would you ever get a tattoo?
I'm kind of.
So you're more of Myres in this.
I'm anti-cat. I'm anti-tattoo, sort of.
Okay.
I don't want a tattoo. Steven takes that as I am antagonistic towards
I don't
tattoos.
care about tattoos. I wanted one for a really long time. I just don't really want one anymore.
I don't think I'm like. I think that if I wasn't allergic to cats, I'd be a pretty big fan. I mean, I was the one who like got my family to get a cat, and that's how I realized I was allergic. So now I obviously, if I'm around them, I break out in hives, and that's not a fun experience for me. But you know, for other people, I'm sure they're great. You know,
It's really fun for other people when you break out into hives when you're around cats.
Yeah.
Oh,
I have so
thank you
much
for
fun
saying
when Steven breaks out in hives when he comes to my house.
So like Chloe and Anna, are y'all both anti-tattoo as well?
Oh, I don't care.
I'm not gonna get one, but I'm not gonna shame someone for having a tattoo.
Just don't want one.
I like.
Why do y'all
it would
not
have to be
want
the right
one?
thing? Well, I'd it'd be
I'll let Chloe speak.
for me. Like I would just need the right thing. Right now, I'm not like
Like
oh, I want to get this.
Philippians 4.
Philippians 4:13. I just really want.
Philippians 4:6.
Yep. I don't know what that is. You probably do. Presbyterian.
Do not be anxious about anything.
I would be okay with getting a tattoo. I just don't have anything that I want to get tattooed on my body right now.
Yeah. Pop a color.
I personally don't want to get it because it's injecting mercury into your bloodstream, and I just don't think that look fits me. So
Do you get vaccinated?
no.
Oh, okay. Then.
Dang, bro. She actually just answered that on air.
You really are
love
anti-mercury.
No, yeah, people are all about this.
I also didn't get vaccinated.
Natalie,
Our
do you want to
mothers
share
are
your
anti-vax.
vaccination status?
Her dad's a doctor, so for sure.
I didn't get like the flu vaccine this year, but I usually
She got
do.
the COVID vax. Let's
I got
freaking
the
go.
first one. That was it.
Yeah, I mean,
You haven't gotten the 80th booster shot?
Yeah, you know me.
Those have linked to depression. Did you
Okay,
know about
but
that?
the reason I don't want a tattoo.
What has a link to depression,
The
The
80th
COVID
booster shot?
boosters.
COVID booster shots.
bro?
Crazy.
I just don't. I don't want to.
Guys, there's a three-legged dog outside.
Oh my god.
Allison
Legit,
Chains
there
reference?
is.
Oh, it's so cute. It's like a poodle
Wow.
or something.
Oh, I don't. I think that people with tattoos are cool.
I think
that
tattoos are cool.
So.
I think people with tattoos are stupid idiots.
I
Big
just
dummy
don't.
heads.
I just
Myres
don't.
hates
I
I
everyone
like.
honestly
with
feel like
tattoos.
this. Like, I wonder how many of the like the Venn diagram of tattoos and cat people. Like, I wonder how much.
It's funny that Steven
Like-
talks about how much I hate tattoos because I think all of my best friends have tattoos.
That's true.
I think literally
You're the
all of
only
them.
one who doesn't. You got to get one.
You must just hate.
I
all of your
really
friends.
want to get.
Yeah, I hate all my
I
friends.
need Zion to get me a new one. I want to get a few more on my arm.
I just don't. I don't like. I don't have anything against it. I just don't have. I just don't like have. I don't have anything that I would want to like mark on my body.
Sure.
Plus, like,
Whenever I was a freshman in college, I didn't want to either. To be so
I don't
fair.
want to get any tattoos until my frontal lobe is developed.
Mm-hmm. And
Because
I got
Whoa.
mine
whenever-
literally the year my frontal lobe fully.
I don't want to regret anything. Yeah.
Whoa.
Blackout sleeve all the way down.
Yeah, I just want one side of my body to not be the same color as the other
I
side
want
of my
a
body.
face tat that makes my face look like Chloe's.
Honestly, like the first tattoo I wanted was a smiley face because I was like, oh, smiley faces are awesome. But then like that's like that ended up being a
Fire.
trend. You know, that ended up being like that's like whoa,
you
Urban
can't
Outfitters did
follow
that.
those.
Wait, y'all want to
2015.
hear a crazy story?
What?
No.
My thanks, Myres. I'm gonna tell it anyway. My sister has like a stick and poke on her like ankle
Yeah.
that one of her friends gave her at, like a trip or whatever, and my dad legit asked her one time and was like, he was like, I think it's really cute that you draw that smiley face on there every day, because she didn't tell them that she got the stick and poke.
That's hilarious.
And so it's always like a joke that like, and then my
Dr.
dad like,
J, bro.
and he'll like deny it. He'll be like, I knew the whole time. And we're like,
no.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure, John. Sure, John.
Sure, Mr. Porterfield.
Sure, Dr. John.
J.
I would love to know where the name Porterfield comes from. That's a crazy name.
me and Chloe looked it up the other day.
It
Are you
was like
serious?
Well, Porter.
What a helpful
Porter
fact.
is like
we were looking up what names.
Porterfield. What does it mean?
like
I also did that freshman year.
it's like its origin is like Scotland,
Okay.
Ireland vibes.
Yeah.
And then it's like it means like a fortified like field or something. It's like
something like that.
it's about like because porter means like a port, like it's like a guard, you know? So it's like some sort of like
And then field is like
field.
Whoa. Do y'all know about these like Scottish like tribes
Well-
that they'll put your names with and stuff?
Well, my mom's maiden name is a name of a castle in Scotland.
Do you know that all of those like Scottish and Welsh tribe things are completely fake?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I learned that the other day.
Yeah, probably.
That when people are like, you are part of the Allen
Clan.
clan of Wales.
I would love to be in that clan.
They'll sell you like mugs with like a certain plaid that like the Allen clan had.
Yeah.
It's completely
It's
made
just
up.
to
That
make
makes sense.
money.
That makes
Yeah.
a lot of sense.
Just yeah. Anyways, that was the secret segment. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. Just know that the Welsh clans are fake, and also know that Myres' tummy got sort of healed.
Really
at
yummy.
a Pentecostal gathering, and in South Africa on a week-long HIV-infested trip. And there was something else that we talked about there in the middle. We talked about tattoos. Tattoos are stupid, according to the majority of this room, but they're cool still. At the same time,
They're cool, but people who have them are big, dummy, stupid heads.
They're cool,
So true.
but they think that
Direct quote.
that the
People who have
might regret
tattoos like want to talk about Outback for 20 minutes.
So true.
it. Oh man! Anybody
And
else
they
have anything else
never
I want to talk
only
about before
order
we wrap this?
cheesecake at Cheesecake.
God bless. And they know what the most caloric intake meal at Cheesecake is. Anybody have any last words? All righty.
Well done.
Guys. This was great. to have
Now
y'all
you
for
can
y'all.
say you've been on a podcast.
Yeah, this was super fun. We'll do it again
So
whenever
exciting.
we like
Bucket list
accidentally are
check.
friends for 4 more years.
Accidentally.
We love architecture. We love word of mouth. Cheerio. Thanks for listening today, guys. 2 hours. Bang. Just like that.